let's see what some people are posting on. I don't know. There's some question here. There was some questions about Kashmir and India and the whole thing. I mean, first of about Kashmir, may Allah grant the people of Kashmir peace and I feel that the right to self determination. I mean, I think that I don't know what Modi thinks he's doing, but history will not forget this. That's you don't want this. I'd like to actually say something. I'd like to share some. Check this out. This I was having a discussion with someone who then avidly and passionately disagreed with me. I said that look, I feel now this what I'm about to say is to do with India and Pakistan, and it is going to be controversial. So it may trigger a few people. You see, I said I feel that Pakistan too. I mean, I'm not talking about the Kashmir issue. I'm talking about in general because right now this India seems to just be so triggered. There's so much kind of like far right movements going on. There seems to be all this reaction and hatred and but I feel no, Ghazwa Hind is ridiculous. By the way, the Ghazwa Hind hadith are not authentic, and I've done a session on that in the past, so you can check that out on YouTube. Those of you tuning into my YouTube, by the way, do like and subscribe. People, notifications, tick tick. Right. So I said, look, I feel now. What do you guys think about this? I know this is going to sound a bit weird, but I feel that you know, Pakistan in general has gone out of its way to forge and falsify a new identity. And I, I don't know. I don't like that personally. I'm not, and I can see why India doesn't like that. So you see, what I'm trying to say here is Pakistan. So Pakistanis, I'm Pakistani as well, but I'm just saying Pakistan in essence is India. Like we are all part Hindustani. We were all part of Hindustan. But Pakistan has, for several decades, it's tried to forge and falsify a new identity, to act almost as though we were never Indians, we were Arabs or something, or we were, like they've purposely changed the wordings, changed the, and they've tried really hard to act as though, you see, we were never Indians. And I don't know why. What is the obsession with trying to run away from the history? Because look, I think we should embrace the Indian history. This is me personally. I think that personally Pakistanis should be, or Pakistan. I don't mean this about individuals, but Pakistan should be proud of being Hindustan in the past. I know today it is Pakistan, but in the past it was Hindustan. Like, just think about it. Imagine, like, what's wrong with things like Pakistan, for example, teaching Hindi as a script in certain schools? What's wrong with that? I mean, they teach Farsi in some schools. They teach Arabic in some schools. It's not like people speak Farsi in Pakistan or they speak. So why not in some schools teach things like Hindi? Teach as part of religious education, teach about Hinduism. What's wrong with that? Like, I honestly don't see what. I think it would be such a great move. So we had a discussion. Obviously, the other person disagreed completely and said that that would be ridiculous. I said that I think they ought to teach these kind of things. They ought to teach the Ramayana. They ought to teach about Ram and Shiva and all these things and teach these stories. What's the insecurity? Why do people feel that if they teach about Hinduism, that what their kids will all of a sudden start worshipping idols? That's ridiculous. Would you, if somebody told you a story about Ram and Sita, you wouldn't start all of a sudden worshipping a statue. I mean, what are you, like an imbecile? You see, but this is the history of the people. It's the history of the land. It's the history of, this was where the Indus civilization was. This is where the, what's wrong with that? And think about how the reaction, how it would trigger a reaction of warmth. Wouldn't, if we're being honest, wouldn't we like India generally to do things like teach also about Islam? Wouldn't we want other religions to teach about our faith? Why is it that we have a very double standard, a very hypocritical stance when it comes to other faiths? Like, we feel that, oh my God, if we teach anything about them, and this is, I just feel that this seriously is, if it were up to me, I definitely would. If it were up to me, I would promote equally. I would say that the cultural, like the Ministry of Culture in Pakistan ought to promote also and teach things like Sanskrit. Why not? Hindi, why not? I mean, what's the insecurity? Why are people so insecure? Like, it's another language. It's a beautiful language. I think Hindi is I mean, Hindi is like Urdu. It's the same kind of thing anyway. I personally have studied Devanagari, to write Hindi. I find it amazing. But my point is that I just feel that there's so much, this trying to forge a separate identity. People are trying so hard to act as though they've got nothing to do with this land or this, that we are, as though they're Arabs, but they were never Arabs. They're still not Arabs today. They do not have, we do not have the same culture as Arabs. The Indo-Pak culture is like, we are close, like, let's take food. We eat roti. We eat the same roti salan. We speak the same language. We have the same kind of their folk traditions, folk music, the same things. So I just feel, and it's interesting that if you look at history, look at the Mughals who were embraced by India and by the Indians. Akbar, you see, the rulers before that always saw themselves as separate to the Indian populace. They saw themselves as foreigners. But Akbar, what did he say? Akbar had said that, look, I was born in India, so I'm an Indian. And he said things like, oh, on Hindu festival days, there should be a national holiday as well, because the majority of the people are Hindus. And look how people loved him till today. They praise him. Jahangir did the same. Shah Jahan did the same. Built the Taj Mahal. And these were just some thoughts that I had. I feel that, you see, because of this imposed alienation, it triggers a reaction of hatred. You see, if I keep telling you, and we're similar, that I'm so different. Like, imagine you get one household with siblings, and one of them now becomes Muslim. Let's just say you have this is the history of the Indian subcontinent. It's one family, and one of them becomes Muslim. So now, because he becomes Muslim, okay, fair enough. He wears a hat and he does certain things, and okay, fine. But now he starts to also change his language, and he starts to act as though he was never really part of this family to begin with, and they don't even have a common culture at all. He has a culture with Arabs, which he doesn't. I'm just being honest. And he doesn't speak Arabic. And even then, one could ask, what is an Arab culture? Even Arabs don't share a common culture. So my point is that this I feel would be a message of humanity. So being human beings first is most important. Anyway, that's I don't know. People may agree, they may disagree. Should I beat my wife if she doesn't make me an ice cube sandwich? Okay, right. Who said that? Skirt said that. Skirt, I seriously doubt with that attitude you could even get a wife. I mean, even if you tried to buy one, you'd probably just get scammed. uh, right, so what's going on? What's going on? Somebody said you need admin for YouTube. Yes, I do. I usually don't allow comments on YouTube, but today I, in a moment of carelessness, I forgot to I forgot to kind of Mufti, which toothpaste do you is that really the question that's bothering you? Do Kurds deserve a state like the Palestinians deserve one? Salahuddin Ayyubi is asking a question. I believe, look, all people should be entitled um, to freedoms and self-determination. Now, I do recognize that politics can be a nasty thing. I'm not too clued up with the whole um, Kurdish history and the socio-political paradigm that's going on. I am aware that the Kurdish people do really get it quite bad because they're split over several nation states. I mean, over Syria, over Turkey, over, you're going to get in Iran, Iraq. I mean, one people split amongst so many different nation states, it renders the situation impossible for them to get a state. I get that, and I feel that that's very unfortunate. Um, right. Somebody said that you started with Kashmir but went on to the Pakistan identity. I'm not against the Pakistan identity, by the way. I'm glad. I think people should be proud of being Pakistani. I just feel I was just saying that I don't know what the insecurity is with people recognizing that we share a Hindustani origin. And I just feel that Pakistan ought to embrace that as well. And it would do great. I think it would speak volumes in having peace in that region. These are just my thoughts. People could say, what the hell, Mufti? You've lost the plot. Nothing new there. Nothing new. I read this meme today. Um, it said where the person says, "Satan, not today," where he's addressing this Satan, and he says, "Satan, not today, man." And then Satan says, "I've noticed you've been canceling our plans for several weeks now. I mean, is what's the matter? Is it something I've said?" And I thought, yeah, that's it. Somebody said you should accept Israel as a state. You see, I've said in the past that people should now, because there is no. You see, Israel. I don't agree with the Israel kind of Israeli phenomenon. I don't agree with what Israel have done, and I don't agree with the making of Israel. But the problem is that Israel is already made, and it's there to stay. So now that the problem is there, you can either just live in your own world or live in the real world. In the real world, Israel is not going to go away. I do feel that Israel is a terrorist state. That's what I feel. I feel that the government of Israel are terrorists. But I feel that the world is stuck with Israel. So what should we do? In that case, we should just accept it. But they should allow Palestine to be, I think either they should allow Palestine to become a separate state. So you have a two-state solution. That's what I would propose. Um, Not that they're going to listen to me, but obviously they're not going to allow that. They're going to say, well, Palestine's just going to arm itself and then go to war. So they're not going to allow that. In that case, I feel they should at least, all the people in Palestine should be given the option to be relocated in a proper, uh, in in a proper residence somewhere worldwide. So, for example, that would mean in a proper cosmopolitan, not like sending them off to some desert somewhere or some countryside, that they should have the option. They don't need to take it, but they should have the option that you can move in to a fully family refurbished kind of apartment or home somewhere that's, where you can hit the ground running, where it's good to go. You've got it and it's yours. If you want to move there, it's yours. I feel that is the basic human right that should be offered to all the Palestinians in the Gazan Strip. So I feel that because that would then at least, because look, I'm being honest that yes, Baytul Maqdis, the masjid, Qubbatul Sakhra, which is the Dome of the Rock, it's a great mosque, but at the end of the day, it is still just bricks. It is not more valuable than human life. Okay, so if this is going to cost the lives of human beings, then it is better for them, I would feel, to be able to leave. As the Quran says, فَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. The earth of God is vast. So they should be allowed because right now they're trapped in the Gaza Strip. They're not allowed exit. But not only should they be allowed exit, but they should be reaccommodated comfortably. I feel that's their basic right. And if they take that offer, it should be given to them. That's what I feel. But I feel that the rest of the world, the Muslim world, is kind of selfish in saying to the Palestinians that, no, even if you had the offer, you shouldn't leave because you're defending the Jerusalem. I feel that that's a selfish statement because it's easy for me to say that, or for you to say that, or for somebody sitting in Saudi Arabia to say that. But they're not having their children butchered. So I feel that that's right. I feel, how about one state? Yeah, this is what I'm saying, that look, either two states, or they should allow them to say, look, this is not going to be a prison, and anybody that wants to leave, we will actually comfortably reaccommodate them somewhere in the world, comfortably. That means they will be reimbursed, given money, given a place, a residence, a home. And I feel that's a basic human right. That now that since Israel's there to stay, it's not going to leave, let's be honest. So that's what I would feel.